So. Let's go. Okay, I want to welcome everybody. I'm going to chair the meeting today because Neil's unavailable for today. I hope there isn't a coup that somebody else wants to take over. You're welcome. So I'll call the meeting to order. And I need a motion for to adopt the agenda. And to indicate that David moved by David, second by
Where's the agenda?
Ed. Yeah.
Where's the agenda?
Right here in front of me.
Oh, sorry, sent it electronic.
Do you have the agenda, David?
I don't think so.
Because if I'm gonna take the notes, I need the agenda.
Did you say you had a second copy?
I just have the one I have.
Is that the only one you have? Sorry about that.
Oh, I've got a few.
I was not planning to take notes. Just the last minute thing. Okay, thanks.
So we have a motion on the floor that agenda be adopted. All in favor? Motion carried. Are there any disclosure of pecuniary interest or nature thereof any member on any part of the agenda today by any member of the committee? The minutes will indicate no disclosures. Have a motion to adopt the minutes of the last meeting. Seconder? Or any discussion on that motion? All in favor? Motion's carried. No deputations or presentations on that?
No, there are not.
Okay. Okay, you want to lead the discussion and report to accessibility?
So the purpose of today's meeting is, of course, to look at the nominations for the Access Awards. So you have two in front of you. I'm not sure if the committee has any others that they want to bring forward, but there are two in front of you currently. So there's two projects that are happening out in the townships. One is happening in North Frontenac and the other one is happening on Frontenac Islands. So the first project is happening in North Frontenac, and both of these projects were part of the Canada-Ontario infrastructure grants for accessibility upgrades to their municipalities. So the one project in North Frontenac is the Snow Road Community Hall. And that's being funded, as I noted, in part by the Canada Infrastructure Grant as well as the township. But in addition, the Snow Road Community Association is making a $5,000 donation towards this project to ensure that the accessibility washroom at Snow Road Hall moves forward. And then the other project that is out there is on Frontenac Islands, on the island of Howe Island. So they're doing accessibility upgrades to the North Community Park on the island. Again, the same situation. The upgrades are being funded in part by the Canada-Ontario Infrastructure Grant, as well as the Township of Frontenac Islands. But for that project as well, the Howe Island Ratepayers Association have made a donation of $15,000 towards that project to ensure that the accessibility upgrades go through. So those are the two nominations in front of you. Councillor Martin, I'm not sure if you wanted to speak at all to the project that's happening in your municipality.
Yeah, well, just some background. We renovated an old, it was originally a schoolhouse, and it was used for a number of years as a community center, but it was totally inaccessible. Like, yeah, we now have ramps built, but the washrooms were very substandard, so the new washrooms are being built. The contract is out, the contractor's working on it, and we're hoping for a year-end completion date. It cost us quite a bit more than we expected because of the requirements of the Ministry of Health with accessibility. We started working on the old building, and first thing you know, we're into a foundation problem because of the age of the building, and it just went on and on from there. Every time we tried to open a wall up, something else fell down. But the end result is going to be a decent building and a good community center. And I hope our residents will be happy with it. It's right, Ed's probably been there before. It's right beside the fire hall, just up the road a little bit. It's a good building now, and it's been renovated, and it's a good building. And I'm sure that all of the public will be able to use it because of the upgrades.
I might add also to that is it's probably the only meeting center in Snow World. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, it is. We've had requests to use the fire hall at different times, but we haven't allowed that to happen. But so it is the only public building. There is a hall across the street that's privately owned, and it's used for festivals and stuff like that, but it's not a public building. It's the only public building in the town.
So it's probably the only one in quite a considerable distance also. So it's within, I can't think of it, I guess Charlotte would be the closest from the south and off in the north. But anyway, I might just what is required for us to recognize that we want to award this project.
So the committee just opts to choose the nominations that are in front of them. So the criteria around being nominated for the Access Awards that can go to any person, individual, or organization, and in both cases, these are both organizations that are promoting accessibility and moving the township forward in terms of removing barriers for persons with disabilities. So the fact that both of these organizations are making donations towards removal of barriers would fit the criteria of the Access Award. So it can be a motion basically to jointly select both recipients, or sorry, both organizations to be the recipient of the Frontenac Celebration of Accessibility Award for 2021, which is what we did last year. Last year, we had two joint recipients. We had Kim Popovich, who was raising money to make the park in South Frontenac accessible, as well as we nominated the Frontenac Transportation Services for their efforts during that COVID year, which was our first experience of that, where they really went above and beyond ensuring that people who were not able to leave their homes were making sure that they had their meals delivered and any medical supplies or needs that they needed to make sure they were delivered for those who were not able to leave their homes. So you can do two, you can do it jointly, or you can pick one or the other.
Could we have a report in regard to one on Hull Island or Wolf Island?
Yes, like the Hull Island project adds accessible washrooms to the community center, as well as picnicking area that's fully accessible, as well as a pickleball court, which is accessible, allowing different able players to play with able-bodied players. And more than 40% of the population of Hull Island is 55 or older. So as time passes, a very large number of people in the community will be making use of these refinements.
Good. So what's the committee's feeling that we should recognize both projects? And what's entailed in recognizing both of this, producing a certificate or a plaque of some kind?
So we just have a motion that we would have prepared here. And both organizations would receive a certificate from the county, but they both go, there's a plaque that's we have upstairs where their names are put onto that plaque. That's always on display at the county. And then the award is typically presented at the warden's reception each year. So this year, of course, there is no warden's reception. There was no warden's reception last year due to the pandemic. So last year, the county or the warden actually had a year-end review video that was produced in light of the fact that we had to bypass the warden's reception. So both of them were included in that video. This year, Warden Vanderwall is having his warden's luncheon after the November council meeting. So the recipients will be invited to attend that meeting, and the chair of the Accessibility Advisory Committee typically attends that to present the award.
Okay, so what's your feeling, folks? Go ahead. Jared.
Well, I think we've got residents in both locations that deserve recognition. I think I'd like to see it made a joint award.
Joint award? Sure. Okay, I guess we got our marching orders. You have a motion to read on that?
Yeah, so that will be moved by Councillor Martin and seconded by Councillor McDonald. Here we have two McDonalds. Councillor Janet McDonald, that the Snow Road Community Center Association and the Howe Island Ratepayers Association be jointly selected as the 2021 recipients of the County of Frontenac Celebration of Accessibility Award.
Heard the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carried. There you go. That's that one. Now, moving on to number 7 on our agenda. Do we have any further updates from North Frontenac?
No, there was no other business on the agenda. That was the only item of business.
Okay, and no communication?
No communications.
Well, we got time to go shopping. When's our next meeting scheduled for?
So the next meetings are usually quarterly, so you would have your next meeting typically in, I believe we have them January, April, July, and October. So your next meeting would be in January at some
Sure.
point.
We'll have to get a new book then. We'll get communications on that.
Yes, so the committee typically meets or has met in the past on the second, help me Donna, second Tuesday of the month. So in January, that would take you to January the 10th.
So that's council day.
11th, Tuesday?
Oh, sorry, the 11th, sorry, yes, Tuesday, January the 11th.
So that would be in the morning.
Yes, they're usually at 10 a.m.
Because we have a council meeting that day. But it's in the afternoon.
And where would it be located?
Sorry.
Where would it be?
So typically they were held at the township of South Frontenac, simply because that was sort of the midway point between all of the townships. But lately their council chamber has not been available when we needed it, so they've been here. So I'm going to ask the question, does this location work for everybody?
Does for me. Sure. And the electronics are here.
Now that we know where it is.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. finding
So the next meeting will be, what was the date again? January?
January the 11th at 10 a.m.
Okay,
Now, I'm going to just throw something out there if that works as well, because this meeting was held specifically at this time to accommodate that we have a meeting in the morning so that the councillors were not doing 2 different runs. So I'm going to suspect that we will have a procedural bylaw on the 4th Wednesday of the month in January, on January 26th. So does an afternoon meeting work better for everybody? And do you want to go that route, that they're held in the afternoons?
you said our next meeting will be January the 11th?
No, then your next meeting, that would put your next meeting at January the 26th
Okay.
at 1 o'clock. So I'm just gonna throw it out to the committee. What works for the committee? Do morning meetings work better, or do afternoon meetings work better?
Go
But
ahead.
from our point of view, coming from Charlotte Lake, afternoons better.
Afternoons
Yeah.
better?
Well, we're going to be here anyway.
But you know, what, we'll make it whatever. It's just
Yeah.
that the afternoon's actually better, but yeah.
Janet, how about you?
I can do afternoon, but I prefer morning.
You prefer morning?
Okay, if it was morning, what time would it be?
Usually they're at 10.
Oh, yeah, that's what you said. Okay, 10.
Yeah, that should be fine.
That, we'll just leave earlier. That's
Yeah.
okay, if that's.
But then we would have conflict.
You would then have to just do it on a separate date. You wouldn't be able to put the 2 meetings back to back.
So not on the,
Unless, yeah, you'd have, so it would go back to January the 11th at 10 o'clock. Does that work perfect?
Doesn't matter to me.
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay,
10 o'clock.
Yep.
In the morning. Here,
Not at
do we know whether the
Yes.
room is available?
The room, oh, that's a good question. Let's check. It is available.
Slot it in. Sorry for you,
I can make my schedule work.
would you? All right, well, with that. You need a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
So
That
moved.
was it.
That's
We came all the way here for
Second.
5 minutes.
it. Jerry,
Okay.
all in favor of leaving?
I've